Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Anthony Doyle. Today I am speaking to you about the decline in youth learning to drive. Not only in Australia in the local context, but across a series of developed countries, we're seeing a trend of young people not getting their driver's license. Why, you might ask? Looking at key contextual reports, I found that there was no singular causal factor for this decline, but more multiple factors influencing this decline, namely these two here, the generational shift and cost. However, there are also benefits to learning to drive. Then in my research, I looked at the motivations for young people to drive and if they actually wanted to, and I found that the most common reasons is to kind of gain this sense of freedom, this see your friends easily, feel independent, kind of this rite of passage to adulthood that's kind of still there. So then, how might we make learning to drive appealing to Gen Z? Through gamification of learning. The gamification approach encourages factors such as the winner effect, where you once you achieve something, you want to keep going, you want more. So applying that to a learning context for wanting to drive would be very encouraging, especially as there has been, in some cases, a trend in and young people getting their learner's permit but not following through to their P's. Beyond that, you've of course got intrinsic learning. You want to make this this process or activity something that you want to do regardless. It's not a chore. And then importantly to my context is looking at my target user, the Gen Z, the digital natives. They're familiar with kind of the whole grew up with games or technology and this whole gamification element. So then my solution is to blend virtual and real world learning. Why blend? There are countless opportunities that we have found through virtual simulation that I'll explore. However, they don't cancel out the value of the real world experience. So then, what am I offering? I'm looking at a transition from virtual to physical. I need to make a distinction. You've got your traditional drive school or you might have your traditional or your new emerging kind of virtual simulator drive school. However, the difference between them and mine is mine combines together. It links the two disciplines together. So this is my plug and play concept. So as I said, the link is the steering wheel. So the steering wheel is the core element of this project. You then plug it in at home, and you can gather an introduction to learning to drive virtually. It's safe, but you also have the freedom to fail because you want to build confidence. You want your learner to gain confidence, because then when you go onto the real deal, it can be quite intimidating driving for the first time. So this case, the steering wheel is actually can take out from the simulator and then go into a real vehicle. So then, importantly, the first drive isn't the first drive. So how does it work? I'm now going to go through in detail the 5 steps. First being the plug and play. So the key things, it's very simple. Just plug and play. Like a normal simulator, but it's an affordable unit. It's not expensive. The best thing about it is any time or anywhere, and also you get haptic feedback. So you get kind of a feel for like when you're on a gravel road or like when you're on a different surface. So you get that exposure. So then we have gamified learning. And in this context, there'll be a series of challenges that you'll face, and you have to try and unlock. There's awards, so it's a very engaging, interactive experience. You can challenge your friends, etc. Except it's similar in a way to many arcade racing games. However, in this context, of course, the challenges are not about being first or not about being the best race driver. It's I need to be clear. It's about improving your driving skills or progressing or even becoming familiar with the car. So that's how the game rewards you. The better the driver you are, the more you succeed. Uh, Furthermore, you're exposed to all traffic conditions, which in an urban context, you might not have seen a gravel road, um, or even importantly for Gen Z, is the ability to customize your vehicle. That's very important because in my market research, I found looking at traits that kind of Gen Z tend to offer that tend to value individuality and like that ability to express themselves for who they are. So being able to make it your own is very valuable. So with that expressing yourself in your own customized car, you get to the next stage, which is unlocking your first car. And how it is it's 3D printed. Once you reach a certain point of the virtual experience, you'll graduate to the real experience. So it's a 3D printed virtual car, exactly to how you've customized it in your experience. The other thing is it's low cost. It's a EV. It's 3D printed, so it's very simple. And more importantly, it's easy to maintain. So it's not. It's think of like an electric scooter. It's not uh, out of the realm of ownership. So then you come to the plug and drive element of this project, where it's very simple. Again, it plugs in just like your simulator at home, and then it's a super simple design. It's light and nimble. It's kind of easy to drive for a learner. It's not intimidating, and but importantly here is it's scratchable. Okay, this is a learning tool or toy. It's it's not your mum and dad's car. It's this is something that if you have that minor Pringle or that minor fender bender, obviously it's not the end of the world in this case because this is a car that you can leave out or you can get dirty. So it serves its purpose. And then lastly, you've got the real world learning element, and where you kind of you'll have a reason to go out and go out and go places or do activities. It's encouraging, and furthermore, it's engaging because it's so open. You've got AI assisting learning, which I need to clarify. Um, this car will actually help you. It's very simple to use, but it's still there to help you throughout the process and keep you safe as a user. Furthermore, it's again that escapism element, which that sense of freedom, which I touched on earlier, which was a key motivation to learn to drive. So it includes that. So then, if you overview the design, this is the context of the wheel at home, or it's a very kind of easy to portable unit. Beyond that, you've got a social element where you can play with your friends or progress with your friends. You can customize it to your own tastes. Um, and then overviewing the design of it, basically everything, all the functionality is in the steering wheel. That's how simple the interior layout is, and it's important. So again, I've looked to the game design, kind of brought elements of that, and referenced kind of motorbikes or vehicles that have kind of successfully managed to do this. Then this is just showing some body storming and prototyping, and then moving on to the car design element. It's kind of, again, it's a small little roadster. It's 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 a learning tool. It's again, it's not too intimidating to drive. It's deliberately trying to smile at you, and it's, yeah. So then, when you break down the interior and the exterior layout, it's just I suppose the joy of simplicity. And these are some of the elements that have inspired it. It's like a a little tyke, like the next progression, or the equivalent to an urban paddock bomb, might I say. So this is that progression. So lastly, does this resolve the problem of space? So we've seen a generational shift, and in particular of Gen Z. So in reply, I've offered an engaging approach to learning, gamification as the opportunity, which is relevant to this target user. In terms of cost, it's low cost and it's easy to maintain, which is extremely important with concerns about car ownership these days. And does this make learning to drive appealing to Gen Z? In terms of design appeal, I've tried to make this vehicle fun, like looking kind of those game design elements, like it into the graphics. So it's a very kind of open, deconstructed, kind of engaging looking vehicle. So in terms of behavioural, again, simplicity, the joy of simplicity, which is why it's easy and it's not intimidating. It's fun to use because it's so simple. And then the reflective element. In this, having the customization is valuable because it kind of, you can reflect your own self in this car and who you are and your personality, and importantly, it's something you grow with. So you can talk about this. You don't only it's not only the car element. You start off with this wheel and you carry this wheel, importantly, through from the virtual context to the real world context. Thank you for listening to my speech.